Welcome to our amazing mentor series, Jaya. It's an honor to have you on our show. And as you know, our show is all about sharing your knowledge, advice, motivation from your core journey of your life.
Thank you very much, Gaurav, to have me here. And it's also a great honor to be here and to be talking to you. So I am pretty excited.
So we will start from your background, your childhood memories, plus hobbies which you enjoyed as a child.
My childhood was pretty normal from a middle class family. My parents are both working. So I am from Patna. So basically, I've lived in Calcutta also. Uh, and normal going to school, coming back, the regular things which kids do. It was an interesting one because in Patna, a lot of people do not know that we were living in luxury almost. We had a very big house to ourselves, and in the colony you can just go anywhere and be totally dependent on all your neighbors. And play around and do whatever you like and without worrying. And you have lots of playgrounds all around that place. So I have very beautiful memories of both Calcutta. Calcutta I've lived in 9 years and Patna 5 years later on.
So how were you as a child? Were you shy or were you outgoing?
Well, I was a complete introvert, and as my mother explains me, I used to think a lot, and because probably I was living in Calcutta and I did not know Bengali, and I was going to a show hall school. So of course, the language was a barrier, but I tried to adjust. We were in a small multi-storied building in Calcutta in Tollygunge. So it actually in a new place, new challenges all the time. You have to adjust to a new environment. So I think that was something which was challenging for me at that time, but I gave my full 100% there. I learned Bengali very fast, and at that time I came to know that I had this entire ability to learn languages and the entire ability to speak with anyone, which I gradually built upon.
So any childhood memory which you would like to share on our show?
Childhood memory. I was a very naughty child, and childhood memories will be, and yes, I always admired people who were on the stage. So let me tell you one childhood memory, which is basically when I came back from Calcutta to Patna, and of course learning Bengali and then coming back and doing Hindi. My Hindi was not very good at that time, and we had a Hindi teacher. So I took up this entire challenge to do an extempo, which is poetry, Arjun Ki Pratigya. I absolutely remember this very well. And everybody in my class thought I am not going to make it. I was trained by my Masi, and I was there on the stage very nervous. This was my first time I was ever on the stage. I was in, I think, 9th grade or 8th grade. I came back with my first prize there, but it was a lot of hard work. The memory is pretty good. I mean, you try different things. You can do anything you like. So this is a very beautiful memory I have.
So how and when did you started your professional journey and how was your initial days?
So my professional journey started pretty early. I got the opportunity to work with Indian Express as a trainee. So I've done my journalism from Delhi University. We were only 19 students, selected from all over India in Kamla Nehru College. We are the first batch in journalism. So my professional journey was with doing internship at National Herald. That was my first time when I started doing something and knowing about an office. I was barely 20 at that time, 19 and a half to be precise. And it was pretty good. And then I worked with Indian Express. They offered me a job at 3,500 as a reporter in the health beat with Mr. Rajkamal Jha.
So post that, where did you join your next job?
Post that, as everybody is confused, I had this set plan and a vision for myself when I was in college. If this will not work, that will. With that particular stuff, in my family, everybody is into civil services. So, civil services was fascinating for me, and I thought of appearing for civil services. That was my dream to become a civil servant. And if that would not work, I would actually do journalism. So this was my entire plan, and there was no third plan. And I knew that I will do something around media or journalism. I mean, journalism was pretty strong, but I never paid much attention to it.
So as I can understand your journey, so you started with civil services, then you joined journalism, and now you are into advertising. So how come this vast shift in your career?
Well, life teaches you many things, and you have to also set your goal exactly what are you looking as and what do you want to do. And as you grow, it's a journey. And I think you know this better than me. Uh, I feel that, we make plans and plans changes every time. So I did appear for civil services. I did, international relations in Delhi University, being a university topper. It has been always a very competitive and tough, world for me. I did make it. But then after a year, my parents told me that you cannot, do civil services and completely finish off 1 year of your life doing a simple exam. So they asked me to do MBA, which is in my generation, at that time it was called Marriage Business Administration, as we used to joke in college times. And I was not ready to do that. Journalism I was pursuing. I had a job. So I started working in Indian Express as a reporter side by side in the evenings or in the afternoon whenever I would get the opportunity. We had about 5 days working. Half a day was gone doing my civil services preparation, and half a day, it would start. So I had to go from Gurgaon to Indian Express. It was pretty far off. And let me tell you, I was interning with Sumit Awasthi, who's right now the biggest journalist, and rest of my friends, they all are the biggest anchors today. So it was pretty interesting and nice. But life changes, and there are many things which happen. So I decided to do MBA, but I was really not very inclined for it. I got through IMT Ghaziabad, and the second one which I got through was Symbiosis. So then I did advertising from there, 2 years. I went to Pune and completed my graduation, post-graduation, and left my, post-graduation halfway through in international relations, which was one of my subjects in civil services. I could not make it to the mains, and I did not get the opportunity from my parents to do it next year.
So was there any incidents which motivated you to shift from journalism to advertising?
Well, journalism to advertising was all my father's decision. He has a very big impact in my life. And while I can give you one story, see, during my time, it was not very safe to travel in Gurgaon to Delhi. Delhi not being very safe. So I had few incidents where once I was basically covering one of the areas where there was encroachment, and I got hurt on my head with some stitches. After that day, my parents told me that journalism is enough. I do not want you to be roaming around the city. Well, you're very good, but then you can do something else. I want you to be in a certain office environment where you are actually sitting and doing work rather than roaming around in the office. And of course, like when you are a junior reporter, you are barely paid the 3,500 to 5,000 or whatever, and you have a struggle up. Plus, nobody knows where you will end up, and it's pretty interesting. So I had support, but still it was difficult. My father was transferred to Bombay. I was on my own in Delhi doing this health beat, staying and also managing everything. So then I basically listened to what they told me.
Your course of journey is vast. So it includes civil service, it includes journalism, and it includes advertising. And now you are on a journey to become an entrepreneur. So what motivated you to become an entrepreneur?
uh, well, I never thought that I will be an entrepreneur. I never thought that I will end up being in advertising. But I never left communication because communication was fascinating for me. Writing is still very fascinating for me. When I got through FCB Ulka, which was one of the most difficult agencies to get through in 2000, I was offered both the things, client servicing and copywriting, but I chose copywriting because writing was something which was fascinating. Again, I had this vision that, one day I will open up my agency. And I did this entire interview where I told everybody, 8 men, that I am going to open an agency one day. And they laughed and laughed and laughed. And they told me that, what were you doing last evening? And I was like, yeah, I was watching this movie called Life is Beautiful. And I was getting angrier from inside. Like, instead of asking me those very important Kotla questions, they're asking me these questions right now. What were you doing last evening? And Ambi, who's basically Ambi Parmeshwaram, he told me, Jaya, why do you want to open an agency? It's so much of work. I told him, I have this vision. I'm going to work in the creative department because our output is creative. I work in every other department, and then I would understand how do you function, an advertising agency. And I'm very inspired, so I'm going to, in the next 10 years, I'm going to open up my own agency. And they laughed. I was selected, but I never thought that I would do it. It just went away. And then we had Airtel campaigns many times where I've made a friend called Priya. So we used to, joke in the night that we're going to open up an agency called PJ, and she used to tell me, hey, PJ joke hai, like, and we used to have these emails, talking about Priya and Jaya as an agency. And finally, in 2012, I opened up my own agency called Idea Sugar, which was the first virtual agency. It mostly happened because I was in London doing my own blog, Noisy Post. And at that time, there was a requirement from one of the ladies who was teaching my daughter, dance. She required some advertising and some collaterals. At that time, I made all the collaterals, and this whole idea of having a virtual agency popped in my mind, and I started Idea Sugar in 2012 after I came back from London.
So what are difficulties you face while starting your entrepreneur journey?
Well, it was not all that difficult because I was just having fun and I love my work. So mostly I enjoy whatever I do. It's fun for me, and I had this whole fun idea that I'm going to be with my friends, and entrepreneurship is going to be very easy, and it's not all that difficult, but I didn't know that grass is not greener on the other side. It's absolutely not there. So we started working without any ambition. We registered the company. Actually, I did not register the company. One of my partners, she did, Richa. She was my client at Unitech when I was working in JWT. We all three of us got together to open up this company, and the journey began. The first time we faced problem was about how to manage your finances, and there were some 20,000 jobs to be done. It was chaotic, let me tell you. We got all the businesses we could within 2 months, but it's not about getting the businesses. It is about sustaining a business for a longer period of time, or building a relationship rather than having a quick fix. Okay, मैंने एक project कर लिया और मुझे पैसे मिल जाएंगे. No, it doesn't happen like that. The real world is even more cruel. So entrepreneurship is all about waking up, being very disciplined. It's nothing like a job, so your boss is not going to tell you that you're going to do this or that. So you have to motivate yourself. This was my biggest learning, number 1. B is that make a plan for yourself before you begin. 3 is that always have your finances secured, because you need to pay everyone. So this is very important before you pay yourself.
So tell us more details about your entrepreneur journey.
Yeah, so I started Idea Sugar in 2012, and with my friends and colleagues, and we did well. But there was a stagnation point we reached where we were not able to generate the kind of income we were looking at. We were successful. We had about 7, 8 clients at that time, but then it again became a rut where you were actually doing the same kind of work which any other advertising agency pays, and then you were not getting the kind of recognition you were looking at, in the sense that GoDaddy did a case study on me, but I was just getting absolutely bogged down with the pressure. So I wanted to do something different. At that time, I met Chris at Service Plan, and he was looking for a business development head. I joined there as a part-time freelancer, and I had this challenge of revamping this company. While he agreed that you do not, shut down Idea Sugar completely. So I had this amazing offer. I took it up. I took it as a challenge. I live on experiences, and Service Plan gave me the right kind of platform, and I proved my mettle, and then I became the India head as general manager and then managing partner, and had a small team. Did several launches, Bharti Reality, Worldmark, if you can see, Platinum Towers in real estate, BMW X1 launch, forlime.be. So there was not looking back, Thapar Institute. It was a continuous journey where building up and being so successful after a failure, gave me that strength. And now, because of COVID, we have decided to, put a little pause to Service Plan India as of now. So I have just not given goodbye. I mean, said goodbye to, communication and advertising. They are still in touch. They are backing me, supporting me under a new company name, which is 19 Dots. But this is a little step ahead in the sense that now I have that global connect. And I now have learned a lot of how you should be doing a lot of things, in the sense that how do you work in a different environment internationally. I already knew a lot working in large agencies over here. So this was a new experience. For me, new experience is the motivating factor to do anything. So and challenges really makes me go and do things. So I did 19 Dots, which is going to be an application where you can actually download and download content which will streamline your own personal space. So it's more of personal communication as we move ahead into the technology world, where I think you have all the technology, but you have so many social platforms that you really do not know how to build your own personal brand. And even brands today are struggling with how to reach their customers in a more professional, way, in a personal way. So my app is going to solve this problem, and it's also 19 years for me to complete in advertising. So I thought that let me have this interesting name. So just 9 Dot strategy to be brand number one. You can be a brand number one, but how can you be in the star position?
So as per your journey, or I say as per your experience, what is better, to be an entrepreneur or to be on a job?
Now I am an entrepreneur forever. I've done the job. It's both challenging. It's a way to look at yourself, I would say. I'm not going to leave entrepreneurship ever. If I leave, I'm going to retire. But still, I would not be leaving it so soon. The choice is, I think, better to be an entrepreneur. In a job, there is security. I live on the edge, so I would continue to be an entrepreneur forever. It depends on what you want to choose.
So negative and positive of job and entrepreneur.
Negative and positive. See, the positive about a job is you get to experience a lot of things. If you work in a very good agency like an FCB Ulga or a JWT, or later on, like I got the opportunity to work with Service Plan. This was an entrepreneurial, journey completely. You need to learn how to, do things at the right time. So job is very important, I would say, because it helps you get connections. It helps you to understand what you want to do. So working is very important. Learning, entrepreneurship is falling down, and there is nobody to pick you up. So that is the negative side of being an entrepreneur. And if you fall down really hard with losses, then nobody is going to even look at you. So you have to be very careful about it.
So, what would be your suggestion to people who want to start as an entrepreneur or who want to leave their job and start a new journey as an entrepreneur?
See, you can start a new journey because today there is a lot of technology available. You have startup mentors, you have startup guidance, you have angel investors. So you can start early if you are ready for it. But learn, I mean, have your homework done before you start. Spend some time doing your research. You can go either ways. It doesn't matter.
So, what would you suggest? Should a person have a backup plan before leaving his job and starting a new journey as an entrepreneur?
The backup plan, of course, is relationships. Never, cut your own hand. Never cut your own relationships. Very important. You can earn money. You can go to any level to earn money. But if you do not build your bridges before, it'll fall down even before you thought about, creating an entire empire. So never, build bridges. Invest time with people. Make them stronger. This is what has worked for me very well.
So, what does your experience say? Does relationship helps once you leave your job or chair and starts a new journey as an entrepreneur?
It depends on what kind of chair you have left and what kind of person you are. So yes, of course, you will have this sudden, thought that like nobody is, looking at me. I've quit and nobody is. So these are all your own thoughts. These are not the thoughts of the people who are there, working with you. So I mean, you need to change your thoughts in the first place.
One-liner advice to people who are starting as entrepreneurs.
One-liner advice will be like, just go with the flow, approach everyone and be humble.
So at last, that one line that defines Jaya.
I am like a cotton, I would say, lighter. I like to be happy, and I like to learn a lot, absorb a lot. I invest time in learning, so I'm like a cotton. That's it.
It was great interacting with you. Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and giving your precious time on our show, Amazing Mentor. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.